Hey,
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Hey, did you know I ran into somebody yesterday? It's the first time ever. I was recognized in a store from this show.
awesome.
Yeah, I was. At the Dollar General.
Awesome. Oddly enough, I've had people recognize Dylan from all the things I put about him. And it was somebody at the dollar store. Evidently, that's where the people that watch like to hang out. I hang out there. And they were like being really friendly towards us. And it didn't dawn me. Then they finally said something about Dylan and all his hijinks or something. And they went and then told this lady, said he had fans.
Oh,
He
that's
does. He does have fans.
cool. Hey, Sharon, PJ, Melinda, Happy New Year to you. Brandon, Happy New Year to everybody. Brittany. And that is not a giant tsunami getting ready to engulf us. I don't know if you can hear that. That's Angela's water for her tea.
I didn't
She
want any
decided
tea.
at the very last minute that she had to have a cup of tea.
I did. I'm sorry. I just had to have it, and there it is.
We'll let that noise, we'll let it finish before we get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, because it don't take much to set either one of us off today. Either we're cranky pants, and I think it's going around. And to be honest, I expect a heavy kind of energy probably to prevail for a couple of weeks. It doesn't mean, oh no, things are bad. It could be actually wonderful for some people. I don't know that, but I am saying the energy's heavy, and that can mean there's more serious discussions that will take place, more deeper conversations, perhaps a good time to plan, a good time to watch your money and kind of make plans concerning financial matters, a very good time, important time to lay out a plan for your health, maintaining your wellness. It's going to be a very good time to, I don't know, kind of go inside, I guess, and find out who are you and who do you want to be when you grow up, basically.
That's so funny. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get into this a little bit more as we go along because I have an article here that gets into that a little bit. But right now, it's like since the new year, right before the dawn of the new year, I started feeling like I'm not liking what I'm doing with my time and where I'm putting my energy. And I feel dissatisfied. And I think that's just kind of a theme right now.
It is the thing. Okay, there goes my water.
I'm going to get her water and make her tea.
Thank you. You can just pour it from right there if you want to.
Okay.
And don't go past my finger.
Yeah, I don't want to dilute the sugar too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me when.
A little over halfway.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I got a big old cup. So, and I had some tea this morning. I don't like to overdo it. I need more water. That's not going to be enough. I'm going to get it.
No, I got it right here.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just feel like, okay, well, I feel like that's going to be my happy place right there.
Okay.
But anyway,
So
it's going to be heavy energy. So you kind of want to, and mothers, you're going to be thinking about your mama, whether she's still here or not here. Your mama's going to be on your mind. I don't know why it just suddenly hit me very strongly that I need to say that.
That's for everybody.
That's for everybody, but I'm saying it to you as well. And it's already happening for me. And I tell you what, I decided to cook collards yesterday from scratch. And it's something, I have collards, but I get them in a can because, I don't eat that many of them. And I decided to just make a mess of collards. And they were good. I got some if you want to take them home with you, actually, but they were good. Anyway, the point of this story is I put them on, and man, they stunk. And I mean, it's like, oh my God, but you know what it was? I was immediately transported back to my childhood. And Mama, I call my step-grandmother Mama because she raised me there. And it was like, oh my God, that's what I smelled all them years. I was a little child. That stank. I didn't ask her, what is that stink? And I knew it was, I probably did know it was some sort of green, but I didn't realize that's what it was. But man, I was transported back, and it was bad. But after they got through cooking, put the vinegar on there, that's good. That's real good.
Yes. As the Chihuahuas have a battle over the little bed there.
My dogs have been crazy. Okay, they have been play fighting like crazy today. And a friend of mine called me this morning, and she had two pit bull mixes, she says, and they were doing the same thing. So my dogs are on the couch wrestling and carrying on, and I don't know where she's sitting, but hers was wrestling and carrying on.
Can you get that little Yahoo thing?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, Julie says her mom's been on her mind, so.
I don't know. I just think that's going to be going around. I don't. Well, here, have that, folks.
Well, this is Metaphysical Matters with Angela Moore. I'm Kim Clark, and it really is good to be back after a several week break. How was your Christmas first?
It's all right. Well, I'll tell you something about me. Julie, I think that's something I want to address. She says, yes, her mom's been on her mind. She figures she must have a message for her. Listen to me. Sometimes the message is simply in her presence. The fact that you're thinking about her means you may be actually sensing her. And the fact that you're sensing her means that evidently you're needing to know, hey, you're not alone. You got company. Maybe somebody just wants you to know that you don't have to do this all by yourself, even though it sure as heck might feel by yourself. Now I need to say that. And Happy New Year to Tim Clark from England. That's someplace I hope to get to. Anyway, go ahead.
So Christmas was good?
Oh my God. So anyway, Jamie told me about a month ago. She says, I got you something. I'm probably going to regret it. She says it's non-refundable. So I'm thinking, okay, she's got me a trip because I've been carrying on. I'm going to sell my house so I can go to 3 days to Florida because 3 days is my limit of going anywhere. And I haven't been there since I was 12, and I am SXTY too now. But anyway, just something to say. But anyway, she said, no, that's not it. That was craziness. And I knew it was craziness, but whatever. But anyway, I didn't know what's going to be. I let it go. And she brought in me this package, and it's big. I mean, it's big. So I finally unwrap it. It was luggage. And yeah, she's taking me to Florida for 3 days.
That's so excellent.
I can't stand it. Perfect child. She's my perfect child. Anyway, Dusty will be my perfect child when he hauls me out somewhere. Dylan, you have to take me someplace to get to the perfect child status. No, all my kids are equal. But, you know, it just... I'm beyond belief, and I'm like so grateful. And we're going like 2 weeks. We have to go when the school's out because she's taking the boy. Reasons I wanted to go because when I was little, we went to Florida. My family always did, and I don't remember all of it because I was little, but I do remember when I was I don't know, I was real little, but I remember the glass bottom boat, and I have been obsessed about that boat for the past year, and I want to take Dylan before he's too big to, you know, he's going to not want to be seen with me pretty soon. And so I wanted to go while he's still a little boy and he could have that memory too. And so we're going to, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And I honestly fully expect a blizzard or something.
You expect the creek to rise?
I do. I fully expect the creek to rise. But if it don't, and if we make it, I can't wait to take him on that glass bottom boat. Can't wait. And of course I've been watching airline disasters on the Smithsonian Channel daily up until this happened. I'm taking a break from it now.
What is that? Is that something they're concentrating on right now?
No, it's just a show about airlines crashing. Airplanes crash, okay? Then they figure out why did they crash.
Are you watching that instead of the people who are getting new aquarium show?
Oh, they quit. I haven't seen any new aquarium shows, but I will watch it when they start making them new again.
Okay.
I have a desire to have one of those nice aquariums, you know, but golly, but you have to maintain them and stuff, and they wouldn't even fit in my house, the ones they do. But I want one that looks like a crystal ball.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I think that would be so fun, you know, for my house, you know, crystal ball and have my Bubbles and Fluffy in it. That's my fish. Okay. My fish's name are Bubbles and Fluffy.
Okay. Well, let's kind of shift into metaphysical gear here. One thing I wanted to mention, you know, in the past we've talked about the Schumann resonance, which is the measurement of the electromagnetic field of the earth, to put it really simply. And n5d.com is a really good website to keep track on that. They have the embedded graph of it all the time. But I noticed that the Schumann resonance yesterday was really, it wasn't a total whiteout like we saw earlier in the year, but it was really, you know, it was semi-whiteout for part of the day. I thought that was interesting to happen on New Year's Day. So anyway,
this was what?
The Schumann resonance. You know, we've talked about that before. It's the electromagnetic.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't understanding what you were saying.
Sorry.
You were saying resonance, and resonance, and I'm hearing residents.
I see.
And I'm thinking, where do the Schumanns live? I don't remember them people.
They live down near the creek.
I've been away, people. I'm sorry, my brain is not working, but I think that's very interesting.
So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. So the energy measurably has been kind of strange.
Anxiety, people. There's going to be lots of anxiety right now too. So
yeah, that's what she's
breathe.
saying.
And if you feel like you need to make a decision because you know stuff's going to happen, you know it's going to happen. Okay, just day at a time, because I feel like there's going to be a plan for everybody. And okay, but right now I think I'm supposed to say there's a plan We don't know what it is. We just have to keep walking and trust that our process will take us in the right direction. And as I've said a million times, remember, confusion is the last stage before enlightenment. You will have so many things going on, in the back of your mind. You can't sort it in the front of your logical place. So what happens is you get confused, and then what's happening is stuff is getting sorted out, and then finally it comes up here, and it's like, okay, got it. Now I know what to do. In the meantime, you just have to sometimes distract yourself. And another thing, as we've already talked about before, and it's this stuff I feel like I'm supposed to say, or wouldn't sit here and say it, by the way. Sorry, I'm annoying. I don't really care. I can't help it. I'm annoying. I know it. Well, I know it, but what are you going to do? I feel like you want to make a list if you feel like it, and put down some stuff that you'd like to see happen. If you don't know, ask your higher power, what should I write down? I would want to write down a house that doesn't want to kill me, but whatever, because my house is actively trying to kill me now. It might be for sale. It won't try to kill you. It'll be good for you. But anyway, it was, this is a home I intended to live in until I died, but maybe I don't know what I'm going to do. Write down what you think you need to write down, and then put it away somewhere and forget about it. Look into it later. And Julie's asking, does Schumann cause headaches and confusion? I think it does, because I've not experienced it, but other people have.
Yeah, I think so. I had a headache yesterday, actually. Yeah, yesterday I had a headache, and I don't normally get headaches. And also, we continue to talk about the ascension or whatever, the energy on the planet is changing, and that's going to make your body have to go through some adjustments too. Headaches, confusion, feeling lethargic and all that stuff.
And these cold rainy days aren't very helpful.
Yeah. But anxiety is going to be just kind of overarching.
Through the roof. But it don't have to be. Turn it over to your higher power and worry tomorrow about it. Best advice I can ever give somebody. You do what you can do. It doesn't mean you don't take care of business. If there's any business you need to attend to it. But if you've done what you can do, worry tomorrow.
That's good advice. Well, you have sent me quite a few texts over the holiday as some things that you want me to ask you. But I thought first we'd start where we usually do, or get to it early, and that is unidentified flying objects. You sent me a few news articles about that.
Okay, I told you a while back, I went outside. It's like a ring, and there were lights going around the ring. They were multicolored, and nobody would go outside and look. They were talking and carrying on. Okay, well, I figure, well, I'm just an idiot. What do I know? But I did see it. Well, here's the thing. I was watching TV yesterday, flipping around, some random show come on about that, and this guy was showing a picture of one that he filmed, and he was saying, look what I saw. It's the weirdest thing. And I thought, that's what I told Dylan. That's what I saw. That's what I saw directly up. That's what I saw. So, it made me feel happy that somebody else had seen it too.
How interesting.
Yeah. And it's like, evidently it's a thing.
Well, you received an email. I'm going to read most of it. It's not very long. On December 21st. And this is from somebody here in McDowell County. My husband saw on two different...
No, she's not from this county. She's from up in the mountains. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, but not too far from here. Because one of the sightings is in Marion.
Yeah, I think she's in Mount Mitchell. Yeah, okay. Yancey County.
Oh, Yancey County, okay. Anyway, my husband saw on two different occasions this month something very unusual. One early morning, still dark, he got up and went outside and looked up and saw something with red, yellow, and white lights, not blinking. And beneath these lights was another object with a yellow light hanging below. No sound at all and moving very slowly. He could not tell the shape of the object since it was still dark. This was in Yancey County near Mount Mitchell. This was on December 11th. Another time just recently in Marion, right at dark, he saw 5 to 6 objects that were traveling together, keeping the same distance between them. Then all of a sudden they began to separate, and then they came back together, and there was a very tiny, faint yellow light on one object. He stepped out of the car to see it better, but they went straight up, and it was so dark he couldn't find them again. This was in the direction of Walmart in Marion, and that was on December 18th.
So that's where Dusty saw on that Sugar Hill Road. That's where he's seen stuff, and that's where you live, and you've seen stuff. So it doesn't surprise me a bit. And by the way, just so you know, I think she said, but we did have permission to read that from the lady that wrote it. So go ahead. Also, Shannon wrote on there a minute ago that she's sharing this. I wanted to tell y'all, thank you very much for anybody that shares or feels like sharing. Don't do nothing if you don't want to, but if you want to, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you know what? I wanted to, we're talking about a sighting here of quote unquote UFOs. I wonder sometimes you see that and see it, and nobody else around you sees it, or you don't hear that anybody else says that they saw it, and you wonder, why do I see it and others don't?
Maybe because we're looking up, because we can feel there's something up there.
I think that's part of it too. And also, I was going to ask you about this. My acupuncturist mentioned, we always talk about weird stuff before she really gets into before she leaves, you kind of enter that meditative state. She was saying that she feels like that sometimes maybe if you are just in a place where your vibration is a little bit higher, regarding, maybe just feel happy or whatever, you would probably be more likely to be able to see something like that.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know about that, but that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like it might be true. Anyway, because
it seems like for regardless of whatever reason of that stuff is on the upswing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know
absolutely.
what? I think we need to quit calling it UFO too. I think we need to call it by its new name, IAP. Is it IAP?
What's that?
No, UAP. Oh my God, unidentified. So that's a U, but it must not be. Aerial phenomenon.
Well, that's so interesting that you said that, because I had written a note on another news item that you sent me about an orb, a pulsating orb that was recorded flying erratically around Lawrence, South Carolina. And this was father and son. And, basically the same story. They watched it for a while. It disappeared. They have video. And if you go online and just Google Lawrence, South Carolina UFO sighting, you'll see it. You can see the video. But I was wondering, and I even made this note. We're so used to saying UFO, like everything is some kind of craft with somebody flying in it. And maybe that's not the case all the time, or maybe even not most of the time. Maybe it's a consciousness.
Or it's exactly the case. It is flying. It is an object, and it is unidentified. It's exactly, but it's just a loaded word.
Well, we think it's always like a little ship with people.
Yeah, and it isn't. Sometimes I think it's actually a conscious being, especially some of the orbs that travel. I have been told by my part of the brain that tells me stuff that it is they travel through thought. It is a thought guided process. I've been picking up a lot of stuff lately. I might get in the zone one day and see what happens and tell you some stuff.
Well, sure. You got anything else you want to say right now?
No.
Okay, just that little teaser.
Not allowed.
Okay.
That might get me.
Because when you see some of the things that people have been seeing, a lot of people have been seeing those like little snake-like objects, or in the sky, and I started thinking, in particular, those almost seem like light beings, consciousness, or something like that.
I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Somebody said that they saw two of them the day after.
That's right. I think that we read that message from Melinda last time.
Did we?
I think so. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but we did read another one.
But I do think that sometimes people are seeing things and they are being abducted probably, and then being put back, and so they have no memory of abduction. They just remember looking up and seeing something. So there, I said it.
Okay. Well, and another sighting, and this was on New Year's Day, a strange object launching off the coast of Florida, and they checked with Cape Canaveral, and there were no launches there. And anyway, again, there's video of it online. Just something else.
See, I think that's just very interesting, because before you hear something and you hear something else maybe a few months literally later. Now it's every day, almost every day. Yeah. And it's not crap. It's like stuff that is, it's stuff that is seen by a lot of people. Why can I not talk today?
Look what Julie just added here. I have a friend who is retired Air Force, and he saw a 6-foot sphere keeping up with his drone right next to the camera pod.
That sounds maybe very similar to the things in World War II. That the what do you call them? The Foo fighters.
Yeah.
That would actually come into the airplanes or go along beside them and everything. And they just assumed that it was something from the Germans or Japanese had done. And it wasn't. That was the beginning of the modern day UFO awareness.
And that was during World War II?
Yeah. Foo fighters.
You know what?
I thought everybody knew that.
Yeah, but that's interesting, because some of the stuff I've read about why the extraterrestrials became very interested in us is because of the nuclear weapons that we used in World War II.
Yeah, I think we're still also feeling reverberations from those nuclear weapons. I think it started something that hasn't finished yet, and it's alarming to me. Anyway, don't worry about it. Carry on.
That's interesting. Do you have anything?
I know it is. I'm not going to talk more about it under this kind of format, because I don't want to be a fear monger or anything because,
Okay.
but I will just tell you, I think but I'll just put it this way. This is it. I don't have anything else to add about this. Anything
Okay.
else I'd add to this would just be opinion. But I feel like it started a vibration. That vibration is still going out, maybe out into space and other worlds by now, but also set a vibration onto this planet that is not yet complete. And I don't think the destruction from that is done. It's not done. It is not done. We are still contaminated, for lack of a better word, from something that happened. I think we opened portals. I think we did all kinds of stuff, and it ain't done. It's just my opinion. It's what I feel. I don't know how to describe it further.
Wow, that's really
I
interesting.
feel a lot of stuff that I don't always share with people because it's just like, why,
Why not?
why enjoy your life, be happy. That's why. Try not to set off any more nuclear weapons if you can help it. I think
That was one of my New Year's resolutions. I wasn't going to set off any more nuclear weapons. Hopefully, the people who are in charge have made the same resolution.
I do believe it actually may have, in fact, set off. I'm looking for right words. Set off a.
Chain reaction.
Thank you.
Chain reaction.
Maybe. I'm sorry, I'm picking up on something. You have to bear with me for a minute. Set off like a well, I'm going to just say a tear in time and space. This just in. So yeah, I want to say that.
You know, that sounds so reasonable to me. Logical, I guess. Okay. You finished with that subject?
I was reading about Shannon just marked about she's got a hum in her video. She took a video of her or her husband was taking it of their kids riding their little 3-wheelers out there in their driveway or whatever 4-wheelers, they're little toys. And you're watching it and you're hearing the kids, and the thing and all this, but you can listen real careful and you hear a little girl, or maybe to me it's a child, but it's definitely female. Yeah, it's on there.
Wow.
But what got my attention is I saw the word humming. And what I've been also reading a little bit about is hearing about this hum that is out here that a lot of sensitive people, I don't, but a lot of people hear a hum. And it's all over the world and they can't figure out where it's coming from. But the culprits you want to go to, like computer stuff or phone stuff, no, because it started in the 60s before we had this stuff going on. And they don't know, and it's being taken seriously. They're trying to figure out, it's like a power grid. It's not anything that you think of. Well, it's obviously the power grid, or it's obviously the cell phone. It's not. All the culprits that you would imagine have been. No, it's not. But certain people are hearing it, and some people, it's like it makes them crazy because they can't ever get away from it. And then some people, like the author of this particular story, was saying that for him it's just background noise, and it doesn't really bother him. He just really, really wants to know, what is it? Anyway, you can look it up because I really don't know more to say about it except to say, look it up, worldwide hum. See what happens. Okay, you're gonna have to scratch my back. Oh, I'll use this spoon. I can't take it anymore. Oh God.
I'd be glad. You want me to use the spoon?
Right above the spoon. Oh my God. Up a little bit towards my head. Down.
This is
down,
is a psychic phenomenon.
Down. Oh my God, right there. Oh God, I felt it as a bump. Something's bit me. Me. Ow. One of them dang spiders probably crawling in the bed and missed my mouth. They say you swallow so many of them. Okay, go ahead. Next.
Okay. Well, let's shift gears again and go down through some of your mystery text. Anybody who's not watched this before, in between our get-togethers, and texts of just random things, and then we do the show, and then I remind her of this, and then she tells me what it means. But on first blush, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, here we go. You ready? Round one. Cuckoo bird.
Yes. I remember this one. Okay, now listen to me. This might have been a message from them. I think the cuckoo bird, how it reproduces. It goes and it lays a big old egg in the nest of some poor little old bitty birds. and then it hatches first, and then it proceeds to murder the other eggs, the other bird's natural babies, throws them out. And then the mom and daddy bird don't see that, because I guess their little bird hormones are raging, and they just see a baby that needs to be cared for. And it's so big that it's so much bigger than a mom and daddy. But the mom and daddy will work themselves to the bone to feed it. And that's why it has to throw out the other eggs, because they wouldn't be able to keep them all up. Okay. So this cuckoo takes all the nutrients because it has, that's how they do. And then, of course, you'd think, well, it would grow up to think it's a sparrow or whatever, but evidently it grows up to be a cuckoo and goes and does the same thing. It occurred to me, what if there was a species of beings on other worlds, or a species of beings on other worlds that needed probes, or again, a unique way to reproduce? And so what they do is maybe they send a spirit into a human vessel to be raised by unwitting human beings, or maybe even they look like us and they just implant their fetus into the body of an abductee to be raised here, not to be raised on a spaceship, which some people say they are. They don't want me to talk about it. They're going to take out my voice. The spider made it down. One or the other. Anyway, I think it hit me, because I've been saying that stuff for years anyway, but it hit me. Maybe it's a natural way for some species to be like the cuckoo is to birds. Maybe they are like that to humans, because I'm telling you now, I've seen human beings that come to see me, and I'm telling you, they are not from here. You are one of them. I feel like cuckoo. Yeah, well, and maybe though the thing is, maybe some of the species that do that, maybe there's more than one, maybe those beings, they know. I don't think I've ever told anybody that to anybody, Kim. I don't say it to a lot of people, by the way. It's a rare thing for me to say. I don't think I've ever said it to anybody, and that person said, well, that's crazy. What are you talking about? Never said it. You know what they usually say? That makes sense to me. I know that. I already knew that. They already knew that. So anyway, that's just something I'm thinking about.
That's really, you know what? You got really weird over the holidays. I love it.
Oh God, maybe that's why I've been so cranky. I needed to get it all out of my system.
That's
this is stuff that's always been in my head.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And I'm seeing some of the people like join in right now, like my brother-in-law just joined. It's like, oh God, help us all. That doesn't put a damper on me at all. It puts a damper on me, but I'll work through it.
Well, they know.
I hate people to know exactly how weird I am.
No,
okay?
man, that's your gift. It's so interesting and enlightening. That's why we're all here. Okay, you ready for round 2?
I'm ready for somebody to tell me if they know of anybody that's got a lot or half an acre or something that's set up for a mobile home. I am serious as a heart attack. It has to be.
We're pausing for the swap shop. We'll be right back.
This is a commercial brought to you by me. I need a piece of property close into town, pass it around. It's got to be set up, or it can actually have a mobile home as long as it's small and in perfect condition. Okay.
All right. Round 2.
Yeah.
Of mysterious text on metaphysical matters. Scratch on leg.
I am telling you, this happened. You can ask James. This is one of those, what do you call it? Switching universe things.
Like alternate timeline, Mandela effect?
Yeah, or the Mandela effect. I wake up and I have a scratch about that big right here on the outside of my thigh. And I showed James, because, it's like, how the heck did I get a scratch on my thigh? Well, of course, later it dawned on me I do sleep with 2 chihuahuas. So very possible, and a cat. So I could see how that might have happened. But it was out here on the outside of my leg. Like I said, I showed it to James. I got a witness. Next day or day after, I don't know, I'm looking at it and it's still there. It's on top of my leg. It's on top. Now, I know it's on the side because I had to look like this, I had to look. It took effort. Now I glanced down and it didn't hit me at first. It's like I looked at it like all day, but I saw it several times and then it hit me. Like, wait a minute, what's that doing up there?
That's like that little mini Mandela effect we were talking about last time.
Maybe so.
Then that reminds me of a Twilight Zone that I watched last night. And I thought I'd seen every Twilight Zone ever made 100 times. And last night I put in a DVD and I watched one called Shadow Play with Dennis Weaver. And I have no recollection of ever seeing this episode, but it was so cool. But in this episode, he was dreaming the world. And he was telling everybody, I'm dreaming this.
Mm.
And what made me think of it is that he's telling people, okay, your wife just put a steak in the oven. Go look now, it's something different. And the guy went and pulled it out, and it was it was a chicken or something.
I saw this on Twilight Zone.
That's what I'm telling you. It was Twilight Zone.
Oh, God, I almost missed it.
Oh, what a crazy coincidence. So did I.
I thought you said you saw a movie.
No.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Well, this was one
that was creepy.
That had totally escaped me. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting that you were talking about that kind of thing. And I just watched that last night. But that was a really cool Twilight Zone. If y'all haven't seen it, the name of the episode is Shadow Play. And it just really goes into some of the stuff we talk about. And the fact that this episode was shot in 1961. I mean, just tells you how Rod Serling wrote that episode. So, I mean, he was a visionary.
I'll tell you some of his special effects. I swear to God, the one where he had like a giant box with two heads in it, kind of floating through. And that was his vision of an alien. I am sorry. But it was hilarious.
He had budgetary
but
constraints.
Hey, kudos, 100% kudos for the time, the effort. But I mean, really, it was great.
Well, he was doing before we get too far off the subject, but he was doing Battle for a while with CBS, and they took some of his funding or some of his budget.
Oh, it's like a horse's tail.
And
here.
And anyway, so he had to really do some of those episodes on a bare bones
he
budget.
Was flipping awesome. The other episode they did, which is also something that I'm dealing with Dylan, is the doll that's alive. I saw that shelf and that looked like it was a head over a shelf. Don't worry, it's a shelf. But it was, Dylan vows and declares that Chatty Cathy is looking at him and that she's real and she turns her head. And as you know, in previous episode, I even woke up one morning and saw a little bit of gum on her shoe, the bottom of her shoe. And I noticed that my other doll, one of them, keeps like somehow getting down. I don't even know how she keeps hitting the floor. But
I didn't know if she was like getting down or
she's not down. She may be getting down after she gets down, but she's on the shelf when I go to bed, and she's not on the shelf later. But I try not to talk too much about them because I don't want to get them riled up. But we were laying in the bed, and he says, Gigi, she's looking at me. She's looking at me. And I look over there at Chatty Cathy. She's on my jewelry box, expecting him to, like, her head to be turned or something. She wasn't. Turned her head. Everything's the same. I am telling you, though, I saw it. Her eyes, like I'm looking at you now. Her eyes were looking at us. Her eyes were looking at us.
Wow.
Give me a chill. I'm going to tell you, give me a chill. But I'm not going to offend Chatty Cathy because I love her. Your mother had her.
Yeah, she did. Okay, let's get back to our mysterious text messages. Here's another one. Hood not needed until it's gone.
What?
This is exactly word for word what you sent me. Hood not needed until it's gone.
I guess I'm just going to guess on that one because it's very possible autocorrect changed everything. Hood. Oh, I don't know. I had a jacket. James found a jacket at a yard sale, and I love it. It's nice. It's really nice. And it's heavy, and I don't have much need for it. But it's supposed to have a hood on it, but the hood had been thrown away by accident or something. And I'm thinking, well, it doesn't matter. I've yet to ever actually wear a hood on a jacket anyway. I just don't. But then, of course, I went somewhere and I needed it. And I thought, well, it'd be really nice if I had a hood on here. Something I never, ever, ever, ever have used, I don't think, in the history of my time spent with jackets. But I needed it. And I think that's what I was referring to, because sometimes, and I guess this is referring to the people in your life, the things that you have, like in my case, a furnace, which has decided not to work, and the propane heater, which caught itself on fire, and the electric outlet don't worry, the electrics are good, but I don't have enough electric outlets, so I overloaded that. People, I'm looking for a lot that's already set up for a trailer. Did I mention that? But anyway, my house is good for somebody else. It's a nice house for somebody else. Okay, it's a good house for somebody else.
None of us are going to buy your house. We've heard too much.
It is a good house, and we have done a lot of work to it. But anyway, back to where I was. You got to make darn sure that if you've got somebody in your life if you've got things that you need to attend to, if you've got stuff that needs attention, whatever that might be, you know, you better be paying attention, because someday you may realize, oh, there's something I need and you don't have anymore. That's something, not being a hood, but probably somebody that you might care about. And evidently I felt strongly enough about that, or I wouldn't have written it down.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead now.
All right, I saved the most interesting one for last, because when I thought you might really get into some detail, I hope. You texted me how to remember your past life.
Yeah, here's your little technique.
Yeah.
When you go to bed at night and you're half awake, half asleep, again, for 1,000th time, that's when you're psychically powerful. You might just want to put out that energy that says, show me who I used to be. Do not push it. Do not make it hard. Do not try anything to make anything weird. If you want to get a real past life regression, email me. I'll hook you up with my cousin. Okay, but or whoever you want to, it's reputable. But I could do it, but I'm not going to. I'm not messing with somebody's brain anymore. Anyway, what you want to do, just tell yourself, show me how you used to be. And then just as you're, you know, in that half awake, half asleep state, and you can also do this like if you're in a nice, cozy hot bathtub, or if you're just sitting in a chair, just sometime when you're in that daydreamy state, when you're psychically powerful, simply ask and then see what happens. And you might start having like little visions come to you. You might start having little things, little memories pop in. It don't just happen then. It might over the next few days. You'd be like minding your own business, and all of a sudden you have a memory. You might want to say something too, like when you're doing this, like, don't scare me. You know, show me something happy. Show me a peaceful past life. Or, you know, I want to remember who was I, but not in a scary way, in case somebody had traumatic end or something. You know, just put it out there in a gentle way. And I'm not being responsible for any of this. Do it at your own. If you feel like it, I'm not going to get sued later by you. Do it only if you feel like you should.
I want to see this case come to court.
Anyway, what you can do is you can put it out there like that. But now I'll tell you what else can happen. When I've done this, you might like all of a sudden, every time you turn on the TV, there's a documentary, let's say about Africa. Every time you do something or this or that, it's there it is again. It's like something, you know, somebody comes to see you, they're from Africa. You know, you meet somebody new at work or something, they're from Africa. Okay, it could be something like that. Or it could be all of a sudden, this happened to me, I started getting gifts from the Middle East. Like all of a sudden, it's like I'm getting people sending me stuff that was from either like Turkey or Afghanistan or Israel. And it's like left and right, I'm getting all this stuff, you know, from that particular place. And I do feel, because I did do a regression one time, that I did have a experience there, and I don't want to know about it. I just felt like it was bad, and I felt like bad things were happening, and I think I had a baby, and we fled. And that's all I need to know. But anyway, I got that stuff up in there because, you know, I love it, and it makes me, I love the way it makes me feel when I look at it. But I have no desire to be there. I have no desire to go there. There's a few places that I actually have a strong, and it's not that I don't care about them or nothing. I just feel like maybe I was already there and didn't work out too well for me or something. I actually have a very good friend in Israel, as a matter of fact. I got to talk to her the other day. I forwarded you an email that she sent that we may have already talked about. One of the emails I forwarded you was from her.
I don't think I got it.
So,
anything.
Yeah.
Do you think that, let's say you guys, that have found yourself to be really interested in reading about, let's say, 16th century England your whole life?
You might suddenly.
What if that's something that you've carried through your whole life?
No, that's very possibly a memory. Absolutely. I always thought if you do that exercise, you might suddenly, all of a sudden, be drawn to Victorian stuff. I am drawn to murder mysteries because, well, A, I'm a Scorpio, and B, you know, maybe that's part of it. I like mysteries that they are good. I like cozy mysteries, not horrific ones, cozy ones, right? But I am very drawn to the English ones. Now, I think the English ones are very well done. But I got to thinking too, Kim, I think I might have exited the world in that way too. I think maybe it's a little bit more than I just enjoy a good puzzle. I do. Anyway, I do think, some people come into this world and they're very drawn to this or that. Some people have to change their country of origin because they don't feel. And I had somebody just very recently too telling me about how, I hope she don't mind me saying it, I'm not going to say she is or anything, but about her child who was remembering and like denying that you are not my parents. You know, my parents were these other people. I remember doing that. I remember it being in the back bedroom, and suddenly just stopped in my tracks and said, "Where are my parents?" And Ma said something about, because my parents were actually with me at that time. But she was saying, about that. And I said, no, not them, my real parents. It was like it's like I was just walking on being a little kid. It's like I hit a brick wall because I suddenly noticed that my parents weren't there, and I felt like homesick really bad. And then, just as suddenly as that came, it left.
Huh, that's wild.
Yeah. So I think that up until age 6, children will remember, and there's a lot of documented evidence that is way yonder too specific to overlook.
Melinda says that her country that's always drawn her attention is Russia. Always has wonderful dreams of Russia. And then Blanca says, I think I was a queen somewhere in another time in a place like England, Scotland. I don't know where.
I think she thinks she's still a queen sometimes.
I don't know if I want to live under the rule of Queen Blanca.
Yeah, she's a fun girl.
Yes, she is.
Okay, next.
Okay, you sent me a really interesting article. That was all your text messages. So
I sent you an email from too, but it might have been a repeat of one actually, of the father of the son. Maybe seeing that stuff.
Yeah, that was a link to that.
That might have been with the same
article.
link. I forget what I sent, and I'll resend it.
Okay, you sent me a really interesting article though. And just the headline is over 100 stars vanish from the sky.
That's what Karen sent. That's it.
Okay. Providing yet more evidence of alien civilizations harvesting stars to generate antimatter fuel. And anyway, over 100 stars have vanished from the night sky in just the last 50 years. And I have read that general factoid other places. I'm not sure I buy into the idea that alien civilizations are harvesting stars.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know about that either. That's beyond my pay grade to even consider that. Maybe, but I actually wondered if there was an object of some kind between us and them that's just blanking them out. Like maybe they've got shield. They've learned how to maybe those things that they Dyson thing. I can't remember the name of it now. Somebody will tell me. A Dyson sphere, where they actually put a sphere around the sun and the planets to contain all the energy inside. And so perhaps that is something that has been done by some civilization. I don't see how they could just suddenly disappear. They didn't go into a nova, or did so, either we're flawed in the way we're looking, which is probably going to end up being the thing. But it makes me wonder, actually, it was last night. I was sort of in that half-awake sleep, and it was like there's something between us. There's something covering it. It's still there. It's just hidden. So there, have that for whatever you want to do with it.
Well, there's a couple theories that float in my head. One could be, like you were talking about the Dyson sphere. I've wondered if we're in one and we're quarantined because Earth is, we can be very destructive. We'll say
maybe the Matrix just has a glitch. I mean, there's so many things you could go on and say. And the fact that matters, I don't know, but I think it's very interesting.
There's this guy in Australia, I think, Australia or New Zealand. His name is Dr. Joseph Chapelone, I believe. He's been writing about metaphysical stuff for a long time. And he's one of these guys that walks that line between cuckoo and, really dialing into some stuff. I think he's just, I don't know. Sometimes I read his stuff and think, man, he's lost it this time. But I find lots of things to think about. But
Tim said, or massive gravity forces put in place that would distort the light so it never reaches. I swear, I think that's it.
You think?
I think that's it. He's onto something. That resonated.
Okay.
He's onto something. Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to toss out that Dr. Chapelone has been saying that he thinks the universe, but as part of this change in the energy, the universe as we have known it is being destroyed, or it's ceasing to exist. And what people might be observing is just, he says antimatter. It's just, or black, what does he call it? Black energy or something. It's just kind of sucking it up. It's just disappearing because it doesn't exist anymore. Not because somebody's using it. It's just
degrading.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It could be a lot of things. Maybe all the above. Maybe each specific star, since they didn't go out at once. It's like I suddenly thought the stars as Christmas lights, where one go, they all go. But then maybe it's like, the better kind of lights where one goes at a time. Maybe they're strung up and maybe they're not getting their energy properly now. But I wonder if it's a little bit of all the above.
It's really interesting. People popping up with some good theories. It's, cool stuff to think about. Okay. I've been reading a lot about quantum computing, and I don't have an article or anything, but it just keeps coming up in the news, kind of like UFO stuff keeps coming up. And, there continues to be these huge leaps in the capabilities of these quantum computers. And I have to wonder, what are they computing? Because you get to the point where it's not, I don't know that it's necessarily a mathematical problem anymore. I think we're getting to the point where, quantum physics is where science meets consciousness. And when they're talking about quantum computing at this point, I think they're dealing in consciousness. And I'm not sure where this is going, but I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just it's advancing by leaps and bounds, or at least the information that we're being given just keeps accelerating about that.
I don't even know how to address that. I'm going to just let it stand with what your idea is there, because I don't even know what to say about it. It's something I don't know how to comment.
Okay. You don't feel like any kind of bad?
I have no comment.
Okay.
Because it's something I don't even know what I feel. It's like, it's just above my pay grade. I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but I will say that's why you are smarter than me, because you can go into that place and I can't. It's like, what? I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah, maybe next time I will.
Yeah.
I have not been downloaded with that information yet.
Okay. Well, we're about 45 minutes, so I guess we should start wrapping up. And I want to get you to do like a New Year's reading for us group-wise in a minute. Just in a minute. Just a flash. Well, okay. I wanted to mention something to you and see
with you people.
if you thought this was interesting or significant. We dibble-dabble in the resale business to some degree. And it used to be, up until about a couple years ago, old massive antiques still had a lot of appeal for people. And in the last year, and any dealer will tell you this, any antiques dealer will tell you that they've observed the same thing. All of a sudden, you can't give that stuff away. What people are buying, if they're buying older things, is the sleeker, lighter stuff, the mid-century kind of stuff from the 60s and 70s a little bit. Then when you get to the 80s, you kind of go back to that faux rustic stuff. Nobody wants that either. But I'm wondering if that is reflecting the fact that our density is rising or lessening. Our density we're becoming less dense energetically. And that's why people don't want that heavier furniture anymore.
It very well could be. Well, obviously, fashion is in trends and everything. Oh my God, I read this thing said the cod piece is coming back. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. But anyway, I feel like obviously things still go in trends and it's a matter of style. But I also think that, we get things that reflect us and who we are. And I think that, yes, indeed, our makeup is, in fact, being altered at the newer generations. And so we're going to need to have things that reflect, that balance out with, that are compatible with that higher vibration that seems to be coming into the planet.
Yeah, the really massive, heavy stuff, you can't give it away now. Cannot give it away.
I still like it. I'll take it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's like I've noticed a similar trend. But I think, you can just say the easier thing, which is, fashions change and there it is. It's just a new fad. But I do think, though, taking that a step further, that energetically speaking, it is a reflection of a change in energy. It's bigger than just maybe a fad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel.
I feel somebody's feet need attention. Sorry, this just in. Everybody should get a foot massage. It's actually extremely good for a person. James rubbed my feet the other day. But I was thinking about your feet, oddly enough. He's rubbed my feet and I started thinking about Kim's feet. Didn't ask me why. I have no idea why.
This is really funny because last night watching that Twilight Zone I was telling y'all about, I was giving myself a foot massage.
Well,
that's true.
That's just crazy. But anyway, I feel like I can't reach my feet anymore these days. Like I have to just have somebody take pity on me to take care of my business down there. But I feel like I'm just say that somebody out there that's watching must be having some stuff going on with their feet other than us, and if they need to have that or to gift someone with that.
Well, yes, working with your feet is really cool. I mean, if you see anything about reflexology, there's spots on your feet that correspond to your entire body, to your organ systems, And if you have a sore place on your foot, if you'll kind of look up, you can look up online and see where on your body that corresponds to, and you may have something going on in that organ or that meridian system too. But on the flip side of that, giving yourself a foot massage, or better yet, getting somebody else to do it for you, is really good for your whole body, because it works your entire body's
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
And it's true. And I feel like whoever it is out there that needs it, and maybe it's everybody. This right here, the Swedish death clearing trend, lightening the load. I have been doing this. I've been trying. You should have seen James Head from the Trash Man. The Swedish death cleaning trend, lightening the load. One of those countries. Okay, I don't know. That's reminding me though that, you know, they say as you get older you should get rid of stuff, you know, to help you to, you know, you don't want to wait till you die and then your kids have to come in and do it all, or do it all, whatever. But it's also just about feeling refreshing, cleansing, getting rid of stuff. And that's where I am. Jamie, God bless that child of mine, went in there and hauled so much stuff out of Dylan's room. And God, the little hoarder went out there and went through, ripped into like a little rat, one of the trash bags, getting stuff out. Jamie threw this away. And it's like, it's a piece. It is a piece of something. It's not a thing that he will need or use. But whatever. She hauled out all this stuff. And I've already took care of one closet. I already took care of, thrown a lot of stuff away. I can't take it anymore. It's like I feel the energy of it. I want it out. I want it gone. I want it done. I want to clear out my space. And that hoarder I'm married to is no help either. Oh my God, he went to a yard sale. Never let him out of the house when he's got money. I gotta remember that. He finds a yard sale somewhere and he comes dragging in all this stuff. No offense, James. He comes dragging in sometimes he drags in good stuff, and he drags in weird stuff that he turns into good stuff. And it's not that. It's just, it might be good stuff. It's just, man, I'm trying to get rid of this. I'm trying to get some clarity. You know, he's making little tin men. Did you notice I have little tin men hanging all over
They're
my
really
house? Cool. Look there. Look. Do you see him? He's got them hanging everywhere.
I'm going to grab one so they
yeah,
can
go
see.
ahead if you can get it down. I am alarmed at this point because every time I turn around, there's another little tin man hanging there. Yeah, he'll sell them. He'll sell them to you. They're like wind chimes. And
They're cool.
It is cool. He'll sell it to you. He'll sell it to $10.
If I only had a brain.
But it's like at this point, between them 10 men and Chatty Cathy, I don't know how much more I can stand. I'll just be honest with you.
Okay.
Clean stuff, people. That's one of the messages I'm actually getting. I don't think I'm just hearing myself talk. I think I'm supposed to say this is a good time. And of course, you always do spring cleaning, right? But maybe this time do a little bit deeper and be thinking about what personal habits you might want to get rid of. I've got some I need to get rid of, bad thoughts and stuff, and bad habits, because, you know, old age is human. And you got to sometimes take personal inventory. Is this an emotion that I'm hanging on to that does not serve me any longer? Is this an emotion that is proper and correct, but is maybe coloring other emotions that is taking the joy out of my life? Now, joy is something that could go missing real easy right now. So if you find yourself in that dark place, maybe find a buddy to hang out with, or do something that makes you, lightens your spirit, because life's too short to live in the dark. And that's where I've been living the past few days. And I mean, I'm human, okay? But you get tired sometimes too. You get tired in your spirit. So hey, Avery, so sometimes you got to like take stock. And sometimes then it reflects in a bigger way with your home or whatever. And you need to start cleaning. And if you can't purge like you need to, just purge one little cabinet maybe, or one drawer. Oh my God, I got rid of some stuff in a drawer. I was actually able to put my shirts in a folded, neat fashion, because I carried off bags of stuff that I am never in this lifetime going to wear. I don't even know if I can. I'm done with stuff laying in there like at some point I'm going to wear it. It's not going to happen.
There's a school of thought that if everything has consciousness, and your clothing, if it's just like shoved in a drawer and all wadded up, it's not going to be.
It holds energy.
Exactly right. So if it's treated respectfully and neatly put in a drawer, then your clothing is better for you to wear.
I have no doubt about it. So anyway, I carried off about 2 or 3 trash bags of that stuff, which I take that to a place where they can recycle it, But
Yeah.
all this other stuff, it's like you would not believe the trash bags that's laying out there on that curb.
That's
I
what
mean,
James hid from the trash man.
He did. The big trash truck, it comes around before the little, he stopped out there, and I think they got out and just looked at it and got back in and left. It's like they came by the next day, but it felt good. It's like, yeah, get that stuff out of here. But if I tell you the honest to God's truth, if I had went back out there and second looked at, I probably would have dragged some stuff back in too. That's just it. I cannot look. I can't. They're telling me I got to bring stuff upstairs. I'm not going up there. I'm not going up there. I don't want to know. I want to know. I know there's some Christmas stuff up there, which obviously I want to keep. Everything else, I don't even know what it is. So how will I miss it?
Right. I think another thing we could do, especially right here at the beginning of the
Probably
year.
why that house is trying to kill me right there.
She's tired. She's tired of all your junk. But I think if we could too look where your energy's going in the course of every day.
Bye, Tim.
And yeah, thanks, Tim. It's nice to have you with us today. But if you can just assess where your energy's going every day and what is giving you joy back and energy's coming back to you, and assess that and maybe figure out where you need to make some changes. That's where I am right now.
If you got somebody in your life that's in your way, let it go. I don't know. I want to say not just stuff, but if there's people and they're taking more from you than they're giving, if they're not making your life more joyful, life is short. Start the process. You don't have to up and leave nobody. You can do what you can do to maybe see if you can change the energy there, get outside help or whatever. But it's not just stuff. It's the people. It's your feelings. It's your self-awareness of who you are, and does everything in your life reflect you? Do the things, does this cup reflects me? Okay, it looks like me. You understand? She looks like me. She reflects me, or an aspect of me. Okay, so there's other people in my life that I don't know how did they get in here. So sometimes you can love people. You love them at a distance. You don't necessarily have to, bring fire to your bosom. That's a burning fire, not a lustful fire. Sometimes you got to not allow yourself, you would not allow your little child, if you have one that you love very much, to bring in bad stuff that would hurt that child. You would not let it bring in things that would be damaging to her or his spirit, that would be bad for him. You would want to make sure it was clothed, fed, cared for, and loved. Do the same thing for yourself, for your own inner child. Now, this could be a bumpy ride year, people, a bumpy freaking ride year. So you want to make sure that you're living as joyfully as you can, because that will smooth your path much more than anything else will. Living in anxiety and fear, it ain't going to do a thing except take the joy out of your life, and you need to have joy to make the world a better place. I don't have nothing else.
Okay.
I feel a rabbit. If anybody sees a rabbit, that's going to be a sign of rebirth, rejuvenation, and also to be cautious, to be careful. So say that maybe for everybody, but it don't even have to be a real rabbit. It could be like an image, unexpected image. But I'm supposed to say that. So for whoever that resonates with, seeing a rabbit is a very good sign of rejuvenation, rebirth, new beginnings, freshness, springtime, blah, blah, blah. But it's also a sign that says, everybody loves chicken, everybody loves rabbit. So you got to also be careful. Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know why I'm saying that. I'm getting weirder and weirder.
All right. You got anything else for us?
I probably, but I'll say it after we cut off. Thank you, people, for watching us. I just think that's the nicest thing in the world that you do. And please, again, feel free to share if you're not too embarrassed of us. And we'll see you, I guess, next week.
Absolutely. Unless you're
Lord
going to be
willing.
in Florida.
Lord willing, if the creek don't rise. I will be in Florida, Martin Luther King holiday.
Okay.
Saturday through Tuesday. Lord
Okay.
willing, if the creek don't rise.
All
As I
righty.
said.
Okay.
All right, bye, people. Let's do this ending thing.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. And here we go. Let's see.